So we'll be over here.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
I wanted to get a Rogue Squad podcast tapestry.
That'd be
Hang
fucking
it
sweet.
right there.
Hello,
Just up the
what have
logo.
we here?
That'd be cool.
What's up, Nathaniel?
Hi,
What's
Hugo.
up, Hugo?
Holy shit. It ain't C3 penis face and R2
I'm yelling at him.
Dickhead.
Hello there. Dickheads.
Looking. Found someone
Dude.
you have, I would say.
Speaking of,
Speaking of dickheads.
his movie The Lobster got a nomination.
Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy Rogue Squadron podcast. I am Mopar.
I'm Commander Cody.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got a couple noobs in the message boards. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're old fans.
Well, just so you guys know, for a while, the text on our chat room was so small that we couldn't see who people's names were. So if you've been in here before, we apologize. And
Yeah.
if you're new, fucking welcome.
It's true. Yeah. For a while, we couldn't see a lot, but we enlarged our
We couldn't see anything. You know.
first day seeing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Rogue Squadron podcast. You can go to all social media. Rogue Squad Pod. If you're listening to this, just head on over to YouTube and you can subscribe and you can watch our pretty heads
Every Wednesday night.
every Wednesday night at 8. If you want to catch us live and tune in and message as we record Wednesday night at 8 p.m. or 8:15, somewhere in between there, depending on the beer escapades that happen prior to. We have a lot of info and news. The most major one, of course, is episode 8. Title came out, The Last Jedi, so we'll be discussing that. A little bit of Rogue One news of their sales, where they're at right now.
From G-Bulk Soulfies.
I read all this, but that's a big paragraph. Oh, in the Darth Maul comic book series, I guess they're introducing or reintroducing a couple well-known Clone Wars characters. I'm trying to speak. So we're going to be discussing those Clone Wars characters and everybody's thoughts about that, as well as in the Poe Dameron. I can't speak today. In the Poe, maybe that's why
We're going to have to get into the beer review quickly so that you can remember how the words are supposed to work.
Right. So supposedly Captain Phasma makes an appearance in the Poe Dameron number 13 comic book. So we'll be discussing that a little bit.
Basically just a bunch of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff.
Most notably, there's
Yeah.
a beer review coming up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Guys. So it's been beautiful today. I shouldn't say beautiful. Good temperature, but it's been raining. And then we
Kinda
sometimes
shitty
do a
all
weather
day.
report.
Like, temperature's fine, but it's been kind of shitty all day.
Temperature's A-okay.
Actually, this morning it was cold.
Yeah, whatever.
Matt
said-
Keegan's back from Australia.
What up, Yach?
Get back on your fucking train and ride. Is that train guy? That's gotta be train guy.
Train guy. And the other guy is boat guy.
Boat guy. We got boat guy and train guy.
We, if you listen to last episode, we said we had a suggestion from one of our followers about if there was a Star Wars horror film, what would it be? When we were live, we forgot to mention that Matt was actually the dude that sent us that question.
Yes, exactly.
So thanks.
And that's what you get is a shout out and a slap on the ass for tuning in live with us.
A virtual slap.
Virtual jiggle. Outside of that, man, I don't know what's been going on. Got a new president. Yeah, he's kind of signing some shit. Outside of that,
I literally didn't watch that at all.
I saw
Bad Lip Reading did a inauguration video, which was really funny.
they're on and off for me. Like every other one is really good.
I agree. Yeah.
'Cause
Every other
sometimes they
one
get-
is really good, and then the songs, I'm never a fan of the songs.
I think I saw some terrible news. Yep. Mary Tyler Moore died today. I know that's not really relevant, but yeah, there's a lot of terrible news as far as life. Honestly,
We talked about this on our 2016 recap year episode. You can't get away from it.
Well, that's
it's
what I'm
only going to
saying.
get worse.
It's a generation thing. Like
Yeah.
that generation is going to be dying off, and then in 30 years, the next generation. And then the 30 years after that, it's going to be us. We're only 60 years from dying,
It's
dude.
never gonna stop. Well, by that time, hopefully we have like extended life and like cybernetics, and you can transfer your soul into a robot body and all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, General
I'm getting into a K2SO. That's all I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be General Mopar. I'll have 4 arms and I'll collect lightsabers.
Mopar Grievous.
Mopar Grievous, very fast. Outside of that, man, what's
Nothing.
Oh, got a new shirt. I know if you're following us on Instagram, you might have seen it. But yeah,
That's legit.
It's from Old Navy. They have an awkward selection. Like usually, I get a lot of my stuff from Kohl's because Kohl's and Target usually has decent ones, but Kohl's is kind of they're always like 2 for $15. I'm like, fuck, I'll get 8.
So cheap. Yeah.
But yeah, I saw this online. I'm like, that looks cheap, but fuck it, I'll get it. And it ended up being this is the best like quality shirt I've ever bought from Old Navy. So I was really excited because sometimes like I get like Cavaliers from the NBA. But sometimes I get like
from the NFL.
Their t-shirts and it's just like a painted on logo. You can feel it and
I
it's
hate
just
that,
shit.
yeah.
But this is like, it's a good t-shirt. So
Good.
if you want to, we're not paid
Sponsored by Old Navy.
Old Navy.
Out of the 1% of their stock is Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, I know. But they hit it out of the park with the 1%.
Yeah, I'm usually a Target fan for the shirts and everything. I'm not wearing a Star Wars shirt tonight. I'm sorry.
Man, I bounce around because sometimes if I walk into Target planning to buy something, I always walk out with twice as much as I need.
Oh, yeah.
But it's even worse for me at Kohl's because everything's on sale at
Always.
Kohl's,
Yeah.
which you should. You never pay full price at Kohl's.
Right.
So you go in there, you see 50% and 40% tags,
Gotta
and then
grab
you
that
just
Kohl's cash and get some Star Wars shirts.
You start loading up. I'll
I know.
spend a couple $100 easily. Be like, dude, new pair
We
of
need to be
shoes?
sponsored by Kohl's, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
addicting because they have a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
Just saying,
I
if I
have a
need it-
loop now that I do in Target. I go straight to the clothes, look at the Star Wars shirts. I go over to electronics, look at some video games, right to the toys, look at the Star Wars stuff and the Legos, and then work my way back around to the front. So it's bad
And leave.
with a lot of shit.
You know,
That's
I
how
always,
that shelf got filled up so quickly.
I always go to the one spot in Target I always go to is like the bathroom, not bathroom stuff, but the
Goes to the bathrooms.
deodorant aisle and the body wash.
Yeah.
They always seem like they have 4 times as much as any other place. So I just stand there. I'm just like, God, they've got
Yeah.
all of this stuff to choose from. So
There's one deodorant scent that I like, and I can only find it at Target ever.
really I've been bouncing around with that too. I've been Old Spice for a long time, and it just I'm going through everything that
Are we
goes
calling
on in my
deodorant
body.
episode?
Yeah, deodorant, Star Wars deodorant. But
Do people wear
yeah.
deodorant in Star Wars?
No, they don't wear bras. They're not gonna wear deodorant.
I feel like they're advanced enough to have scent reducers.
Scent reducers.
Unlike if
They're
you
called heavy ropes.
if you go fantasy and you think Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones and shit, absolutely not. Everything's gritty and disgusting.
Yeah.
Star Wars is a little more advanced, more technology. You have to
Darth
think.
Vader better have some
He needs
Febreze.
something. Well, the suit's probably got like
Yeah, Febreze.
air fresheners that go off every like once a minute. So that's where this episode's headed.
Well, we're here. All right, let's jump into
Crack
the
this
beer
open.
review. Mopar and I were getting into the goddamn
I don't know what happened.
beer cave over at the local grocery store. And of course, we were going back and forth. Oh, I don't want an IPA because that's all that everybody ever makes. And they're all delicious. And we all know that.
So no need to try any of those anymore.
So, and we luckily just kind of happenstanced into a Cleveland, Ohio brewery, Market Garden Brewery. It is a Pilsner. It's 5.5% alcohol. It looks pretty plain. Like it's kind of a stock 6-pack carrier.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
Fuck. I tried to not bend this
The
cap.
label is the bottom of Ohio.
Oh, that's legit.
That's like
Ohio
smart.
people are so cool.
There are some crafty people in Ohio, honestly.
This is Market Garden is I think it's up in the Ohio City area, right where Great Lakes Brewery is and everything like that. What are you looking at? What happened? You got
I don't know.
distracted.
Hammered.
I'm pissed.
Say again.
We got
Ooh! This smells fucking good. I'm so happy we didn't get an IPA.
Pissed.
Oh my God. I hope this is the greatest thing ever. I'm sorry. I got really excited.
Don't
Go ahead.
apologize.
Fuck, man. I'm sorry. Don't.
Dude, you just made it even worse.
Oh, another thing that I want to let you guys know about.
More deodorant scents I want to talk
More
about.
buy-in stuff. If you guys go over to either Barnes & Noble or Amazon, it's the same price. The Ahsoka book, the hardback is down to $11.
Oh, nice.
And I've been eyeing that up.
I don't think the paperback's out yet, right?
Well, that's why I'm assuming the paperback's probably right around the corner.
Yeah.
Because the hardback's gone down to 11. But if you're a hardback fan, you can save like $10 on hardback right now.
Yeah.
So I've been eyeing that up too.
Yeah.
So did you do the smell test?
Not yet. Oh.
Man.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh.
It smells so sharp.
It does smell good.
Oh my God. It's like a
It's like they made a Czech Pilsner in Cleveland somehow.
yeah.
Crazy.
But it seems a little more fresh. There's something in there. Yeah.
All right.
This is gonna be good.
I
Cheers.
can't wait.
Now what is this called? Progress.
You just pulled. You just pulled an episode for Leia.
Progress.
Will somebody get this walking carpet out of my way?
Whacking.
Governor Tarkin, I have spoiled you holding Vader's
I know.
leash. Like she switches so quick.
Progress.
All right, I'm drinking it.
Cheers to. Holy shit.
Dude.
That's good. Ohio.
Oh, it's so malty too.
Yeah, it's got that real.
It's like a skunky photon.
Yeah. Well,
This was awesome.
great choice.
I'm freaking out. It's so good, man.
Oh man, that's good.
A winner of the Great American Beer Festival. Inspired by the Pilsners of the Rhine region. Where's the Rhine River at?
A character of German noble hops. I don't know
Yes.
where the Rhine.
It must be in Germany.
Oh, if they're talking about the Rhine River, yes.
Yeah.
The Great Rhine.
Damn, man. This
This
was
is really good.
Incredible. 5.5% alky by volume.
So it's decent. Yeah. I'm trying to. It's got something in there. Like it smooths off like another type of alcohol. Drink it again.
I have to drink this?
Try.
Shit.
It has like a dryness that clings to your mouth. What is that? What's up, Descrota?
I don't know. I'm not getting it. Scrotum! Hello from Moscow.
Moscow.
Everyone's usernames are so weird. It's hard to like.
The tickle
Pinpoint.
tester.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay. But no, this is really good, man. This is really, really, really good.
It's an interesting looking label. Yeah, I don't know what it is. What this is. It's got like a Roman guy covered in hops.
It says it's
Like a statue.
named aptly for the Cleveland slogan "Progress and Prosperity." So I wonder if that has something to do with like an old ass building in Cleveland or some shit like that. Who knows?
They got the biggest chandelier in the world.
fucking biggest one, guys. Really?
Biggest outdoor. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, in the world. That's a
got-
more recent thing. That's what Cleveland adds.
We don't
add
and chandeliers.
we don't
You better
add-
come for that.
businesses. We don't add prosperity. We put fucking chandeliers over our lights.
Got it.
Yeah.
Over the lights?
It's over a
Chandelier is a
intersection.
light, isn't it?
It's over an intersection. It's over the cross lights and walks.
We got calves and the Christmas story and chandeliers. Mm-hmm. Those are the claim to fames.
Just
It's really good. I'm not getting those ending aftertaste thing that you're
it's
receiving.
slowly going away, and I'm wondering if it was just kind of mixing with the Red Bull.
Maybe you should pour it out.
Nah.
Guys, if next time's listening, he's pissed.
This looks filtered though.
I don't know.
It's getting now. I got it again. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't
if you
get
take a big gulp.
I only take big gulps. Come on.
All right. Well, big gulps. Well, see
See
you
you
later.
later.
All right. So 3 out of 3. Okay,
Yeah.
move on.
I think everyone knew by that time. The sniff test was a 3 out of 3. We knew it right from there.
It was a stunning sniff.
It was really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said originally it was kind of like a photon with some skunk. Photon is an actual brew from here in Columbus. Very, very, very malty. If you think like how I describe it is like a Miller Lite with actual good ingredients, not substituted out for like cheap corn and shit. Like really, really malty and rich. This has all that malt flavor and a little bit of the Pilsner skunk.
I'm not
It's
getting
balanced out perfectly.
I'm not getting as much skunk. A little bit. A little less. It's good. 3 out of 3 skunk.
3 out of 3. Our rating system is 0 to 3. 3 is the best. 2 is really good. 1 is worth trying. And 0 is no.
I wish they gave a little more description on the flavor.
Yeah, I wish they listed out kind of how they made it, ingredients.
It does say it's a lager tribute to the spicy, crisp, and clean German noble hops. Spicy.
I wouldn't say spicy.
Maybe there's a spice in there, and that's what I'm talking about.
Crisp and clean for sure, though.
Delicious and drinkable and fucking amazing. How much was this? Like 11?
No, $9.99, I think.
Really?
Average craft beer price.
So if you're in the Midwest, I assume they're probably just local because
I don't know.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah,
And we're
I
from
think
that
this is
area.
the first time I've seen that in the store. So
They got little Ohios on the beer caps. They're so festive.
they're so awesome.
All right, fucking moving on.
Listen, guys.
Listen up. We're going to move on to the episode 8 release of the title. So,
Oh, so dramatic. I
haven't.
What have you?
So obviously episode 8, it's been released that it is going to be titled The Last Jedi. Of course, everybody wants to know what that means. And immediately the word that they were going after was Jedi. Is it singular? Is it plural? Who are they talking about?
Yep.
Is this as in The Last Jedi as a single person? Or is this like, this is the end of the Jedi?
Right.
And that's one of the theories that I have. We'll get into it. This is one of the theories that I have. Like I said, everybody wants to know whether it's singular or plural. But I have an idea.
Possessive. It's possessive.
I have an idea. Since the Sith are gone, the Jedi can't be. So the Jedi...
I wouldn't say that.
But hear me out. I think the Jedi could die off. The title of a Jedi Knight is going to be an ancient thing. And
agree.
moving forward, we're not just going to have a bipartisan party of fucks. We're going to have a multiverse of people, force powers and whatever, but they're not going to be attributed to one or the other.
I agree.
It's going to be a crazy melting pot of insaneness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. Like,
No, I got you.
you're going to have like rogue. You're going to have like rogue force users taking shit over.
Right.
And they're not going to be devil dark side guys, but they're going to be like smugglers making shit their own way. Dude, I think that's a crazy universe that they could really pick up.
Yeah. It kind of brings in all of the stuff that we love about the Old Republic. Like, there are Jedi, but it's so much bigger and more expansive than just the Jedi. Because, like, in the prequels, it's the Jedi Order supports the Republic, and that's it. But when you get to Old Republic era, the Sith is a whole empire and army, not just 2 motherfuckers. And the Jedi have their thing, but there's also all these Force users that are... There's Dark Jedi, people doing their own thing, like fucking Jolie. So,
Yeah.
I think it leaves it open.
But yeah, and to our point, like someone like Maz,
Yeah.
she's just a part of it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's with her being introduced like that and how the Force in such a flux. We've said flux over thousands of years of
And
podcasting.
imbued into objects.
Yes.
You said those 2 things more than anything else.
But with them kind of changing it to that,
Yeah.
I think the door's wide open for them to make a drastic change.
Well, I think it was already wide open. They opened 7 with the presumption that there is no Jedi and Sith. Luke's gone. He disappeared. There is no Jedi.
The Jedi don't exist.
Kylo's not a Sith. Snoke is not a Sith. Like, they kind of already set that up in 7.
Well, because the Sith died.
Right.
Darth Vader. And what was the other motherfucker?
I don't know.
Bubbles?
Sheev something? Sheev?
Sheevan.
Scrota asks, is Kylo Sith technically? No, he's not. He's a dark side. I think like when they initially released his title, it was Dark Side Warrior.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot. So I think what's going to happen is whether or not Luke dies, I think that the Jedi way of life is going to die. And maybe that's might be another thing where it's not someone physically dying. It's the last Jedi. It's the last person taking that title. You're still going to be light side warriors or whatever.
Right.
But the Jedi code's dead. The Jedi way of life is dead. Once Luke, I mean, at this point, there really is no true Jedi.
right. Well,
Luke
I think
was never trained as a true Jedi.
I think that was kind of the point. I think that was kind of the point of setting up 7. And for however many years after episode 6 it was, the Jedi are gone.
Yeah.
Luke is the last one hanging around.
Yeah.
And even at that point, he wasn't really a full Jedi. Like, he tried to restart the Order. It failed. His cousin or his nephew killed everybody. And he's literally the last one. I think he's going to pass down. I feel like he's going to pass down what he knows to Rey in such a way while explaining to her that, like, the Jedi Order is a bad idea.
Yeah.
It failed for a reason. I tried to restart it. It failed again for a reason. So, like, this is how you utilize your ability, but you can't go off starting this religion and trying to protect everybody because it's just not going to happen.
Well,
That's my thought.
Hokey religions, that played in my mind over and over.
Ancient weaponry.
Your sad devotion. Like, it's all this, like, even during the Empire 30 years ago, people were just like, Vader, get the fuck out of here. You thinking, like, Jesus, I didn't know that shit was real.
That's still slightly hard for me to believe and accept.
But you gotta think, that's such a high level, and that's all we see during the movies. All of a sudden, we're down on the ground level, and we're looking at people where Han's the believer, and he wasn't a believer at the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's like we're on the very ground level. We've had 2 movies. Both of them have been very, I keep saying it, but very non-Force user.
Yeah.
Jedi or ancient. Rogue One's just like, dude, that shit doesn't exist. We're not going to talk about the Force.
This blind guy kind of talks about it, but not really.
It's not because of him. It's because of the crystals. Like, if I was a human being in that temple, I would assume the powers come from the crystals. That's why the Empire is using it. I don't know.
That's possible.
There's so much up in the air. I'm really excited. This is one thing that Star Wars has always done, is just dangled shit in front of you until the movie. And they've done it so perfectly with the past 2 movies.
Yep.
So we're not going to get anything. Now, with everything said, I supposedly saw a teaser that was stolen, but for episode 8. It had no scenes in it. It was basically just the title. But it had some talking, and it sounded like Snoke. And he was just mumbling. It was real quiet when I was listening to it. But he says something about the Jedi and the last Jedi and haha, whatever. And then he said something else really creepy at the end. And then he laughed, and it sounded like the Emperor. It exactly sounded like the Emperor. I'm like,
That could be fake, though.
I hope it is.
Yeah, it could easily be fake.
Yeah, I assume actually it's fake, but I had to watch it. So, Descroto wants to know: do you guys think the Last Jedi will be Rey, since the Force and the lightsaber is calling to her? I don't think I'm gonna put the title of Jedi to Rey, because Luke isn't a Jedi teacher. I don't think he's a Jedi master. I really don't think he is.
He can call himself whatever he wants.
But this is the other thing. As we talk about the Jedi Order not working, it did work. It worked for thousands of years. So the fact that Luke Maybe it was simply because that practice was lost and it was destroyed that there's no reviving it in the same way that it existed. So maybe he tried to revive it the best way he knew to. Like, oh, this is what they did. No marriage, whatever. And it just fucking fell on its face real quick. Now he's got to reinvent what the Jedi are. So now it's going to get into where, you know what? You can get married. Screw it. It didn't work for them. You know what?
Yeah.
It's not going to be that strict. And maybe we're going to get the better Jedi.
This guy over here. No, I don't think that Rey will be a Jedi at all. I think Luke is going to
Die.
not even train her. I think it more of like a mentorship thing. Because if you think about how Ben trained Luke, he didn't really train Luke in the sense of how Obi-Wan trained Anakin. Right. And they were on missions for years and years, and whatever.
He didn't train him at all.
Ben was trying to give him advice, and just like, this is what you need to do. I'm going to talk in weird, esoteric sentences that don't make sense.
I feel like he didn't train him at all. He said, here's a lightsaber, here's a Pokeball, it's going to shoot at you. This is peace. Like, what? Ben! Yeah. But he didn't even talk. The Forces, and they're all living things. See ya, dude. Like, all right.
I think that's what Luke is going to be to Rey. I don't think it's going to be a revival. And I think Luke is, as obvious as it sounds, I do think Luke is the last Jedi. And as obvious as it sounds, I still do think that Rey is Luke's daughter.
Well, okay, and let's discuss this because maybe a lot of people didn't know. This title is pulled directly from the Episode 7 crawl. So, and it refers to they are in search of Luke Skywalker, the last Jedi.
Yeah, I think that's a dead giveaway. As careful as they can be with what they put out in terms of teasers and content to get us all excited about the movie, I do think from a certain level, from a certain point of view, that's very obvious. I do think that Rey is Luke's daughter. Yes, it's obvious. Yes, it's a little too cliche, but I think it makes sense. I think The Last Jedi being the title of Episode 8, I think that's Luke. It's kind of obvious, but it also makes sense.
Well, let's get back to maybe a theory that we had with Episode 7, where Rey was trained as a Jedi, but she was memory disfigured, and maybe she truly is the last one, but she doesn't even know it.
That's a possibility too. You know, when I rewatch 7, I think of that, but
Matt says Ben was like a substitute teacher that called in on a sick day.
Yeah,
exactly. He just showed him a Jedi movie on a big small TV. You know what I'm talking about? A big small TV.
Oh yeah, totally.
Where it's deeper than it is big.
Yeah,
those old that they would wheel in.
Yeah,
sit here and watch us.
And now everyone just watches it on their phone.
It's about space. This is math class. Yeah, count the stars. All right.
Count the stars.
Hammered. All right.
Well, where was I at? The more I think about it when I watch that vision of Rey in 7, she's so young. I don't know if
so young in
when she gets dropped off. Like, she looks like she's 6.
Yeah.
So I don't know how effective like the partial training and then memory erase would actually be. I mean, she's only 6.
Well, okay. Because my mind's going crazy with theories right now. Because what if they embedded some type of force in her? Don't get dirty.
We've been talking about embedding force into things for so long.
I know, but not in a human. Like, what if she's the key to something? Like, she needs to come back and they need to, like, unlock force powers or force knowledge out of her.
Like, what if Luke planted a secret in Rey's mind and then, like, force erased it from his own mind? So only she
like Men in Black.
It.
Men in Black, they do that.
I don't remember.
K.
Puna.
No, yeah, because, well, I just get back to that obsession with embedding stuff. Because even in, like, the Kyber crystals, it's in every movie now. Well, every movie, too, but it's still pretty relevant in both. Yeah, I just... I really, and I know all the focus is clearly on the Jedi now, but I'm still like, who the fuck is Snoke? And what is Kylo doing? And why?
I mean, it
why?
clearly says that the First Order is trying to hunt down the last Jedi. It says it in the crawl.
You're right.
That Luke is the last Jedi.
Right. What if she is the chosen one and she kills Luke and Kylo, bringing balance to the Force? What?
That doesn't make sense because then it's just her.
Yeah, but she's kind of a neutral.
Yeah,
she wasn't. She's not swayed one way or the other.
She is kind of neutral. Yeah, I will accept
What
that.
if she is like a Revan character and she can kind of use both sides depending? Because it's weird how quickly in the Starkiller base she just gets her mind read, but no, she reads someone else's mind. Then she's flying around like a goddamn gorilla bat. But like, you know, even Kylo says every second we don't find her, she's getting stronger or whatever. Yeah. It's just like, why? What's so special about her? The scavenger. Like, there's something about Rey that I feel like not
Kylo
even
and Snoke know who she is.
And we've talked about Han. Like every time, what's her name? Rey. Yeah,
there was this much green in the whole galaxy.
I've never, and he looks guilty. He's like, oh, it's because I dropped you. Wait.
Because I locked you on a scavenger planet forever.
Yeah, there's something about Rey.
I know.
And she is the key. And maybe some other shit hits the fan around it.
Someone needs to make a movie poster. There's something about Mary, but it's
something
Rey.
about Rey. Last Jedi, chosen one.
What girl?
Scavenger.
It is, yeah.
And I think maybe, what if there's a jealousy in Kylo?
Because Rey's stronger.
Because Rey's stronger.
And Kylo will never be as strong as Darth Vader.
See, but that's...
First of all, Kylo, don't feel bad. No one will ever be as strong as Darth Vader, so you can cross that off your list right now.
We can get back into that, or we can't, but I
can't.
Dead on, straight in a battlefield staring at each other, I feel like Bane is the only one that would put up with Vader. And I really truly think if Bane didn't have time to prepare, Vader would just enrage and just light shit on fire. I've already been on fire, bitch. Let's burn this shit down. I really like one-on-one. It's difficult because he is pure emotion.
Bane could just use Force Sandstorm though. And Vader would be like, shit.
Sand screen.
Yeah. Sand attack from fucking Pidgey.
Sand attack.
And Vader is he's just SOL.
Vader's accuracy went down greatly. And he's pissed. Got sand in his shoes. Yeah. So now
there's just so many options, man.
Well, let's look at the characters now.
Okay.
So yay or nay on Luke dying. And I'll even extend it out to 9. You think I think Luke has to die in 9. If he doesn't die in 8.
Yeah, he's gonna die by 9 for sure.
Okay. Now Chewie.
I think Luke's gonna die in 8.
The Last Jedi makes too much sense. Yeah. He's the last.
And like I said, it's kind of too obvious, but I also think it's obvious for a reason.
So if he dies, he's standing on the Irish beach with Rey. Maybe he doesn't even train her in a light side because he's scared of
Irish beach.
That's where it was filmed.
Yes, I know.
But maybe he's scared of the potential. If he trains her, and then she falls, he's just adding to the dark side at this
100%.
point. So does he train her? Maybe he just kind of hints at the Force, the living Force. Maybe he's
That's what I said, more of like a mentor thing.
Yeah.
And he's not going to train her in the Jedi way.
No, he's going to train her in the Force.
He knows it himself. And second of all, he doesn't want to repeat mistakes.
Well, what if he just doesn't tell her, like, I'm not a Jedi Master? What if this is him speaking to her, telling her, I'm not a Jedi Master. I'm not going to train you in that stuff. What you need to know is the living Force. It breathes, it reacts, it helps you, it gives you visions. You can take it one way or the other. I can't tell you how to do it because I can't do it. Clearly, I tried to do it with this
Jedi murdered everybody.
Jedi brothel, and it went to shit. I haven't made a dime since last Ford's Day.
You saw the shit when you touched that lightsaber. I know you did.
That's the other mystery, man. She saw so much, and was it just a pure history of where that lightsaber's been? Because that's kind of, and if so, which it was, because it was on Bespin, and we saw a real quick flash of the lava on Mustafar, so everywhere where it's been.
Yeah.
But then you saw it on that rainstorm where Kylo was killing people.
Yeah.
So it was obviously there. Man, they do so good.
Yeah.
Disney, Star Wars, Lucasfilm. It's amazing.
You were going with characters
Yeah.
one at a time and thoughts.
So-
So you said Luke. I think if you think of the title of the original movies, Empire Strikes Back. Episode 4 ended on a light note. Now the Empire is gonna fuck everything up. Like,
No one dies.
it's a little
Nothing
too obvious.
happens.
Yeah, but they struck back.
They tried.
It's real.
They did have to move off from Hoth, which was, I think that's a huge blow.
I mean,
Because every
yeah,
time they
the
have
Empire,
to pack up and leave, they're losing supplies, people die. But
Yeah. So
just-
I think, like I said, I'm going to keep repeating this the entire episode. It's a little too obvious, but I think it's going to ring true. I think Luke's the last Jedi. I think he's going to die in episode 8, pass on what he decides to pass on to Rey, and go from there.
But if we look at Return of the Jedi,
Yeah.
I felt when I first hear that, I think of it's the return of the culture of the Jedi. Like, it's not just one dude come back, slice, dude, I'm a Jedi. Peace.
I
And,
always
like,
thought of just one person.
I always thought Return of the Jedi. It's like, we're down to this. We are down to this dude. He's our last hope. No, there's another. But she doesn't matter.
She
so-
does.
I don't know, man. I've always thought, because it's Revenge of the Sith. It talks about 2. There's more than one.
Well, again, Sith is another one that it's singular and plural at the same time.
That's so convenient that it's like that.
Yeah.
Siths.
Because it could be revenge of like the Sith order and the ideal of the
Jedis.
Sith, or it could be revenge of the Sith as in Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always picture Return of the Jedi is Luke. Luke is the only Jedi left. The Jedi are returning to the spotlight because Luke sucked it up, forgot about his power converters, and made shit happen. That's how I've always thought of it. Keep going with your characters.
This has a bit of a wine taste. I think it's a white wine. That's what I'm tasting. It's a really refreshing, real quick white wine-ish. I haven't had white wine in years, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Here we go. Kylo should bring back the Gloomwalkers, the elite from the Sith. Yeah, that's from Gloomwalkers are from Bane. That's what he was a part of. To infiltrate the Republic. Obviously, the
shit
First Order
done.
stormtroopers can't get shit done. I thought they did.
I would disagree with that. Yeah. They're the most effective stormtroopers we've ever seen.
Yeah, this could go in. Oh, okay. So off of what Matt's saying, this could go in a really dark. Well, okay. This is what up, Foolios.
Deadpoolios.
Deadpoolios. It could go very dark in a way that, like, bringing back the Dark Brotherhood. Like, it's not just the First Order of just guys with guns. It could potentially become a Sith army, like it was in Darth Bane. Because now no one knows what Sith are. So let's just keep getting more dark side guys and teaming up. Why not?
Do you think
Rule of 2 ended.
Do you think Kylo and Snoke are going to... It seems like their entire goal is to use their army of the First Order to get rid of Skywalker and the Resistance. Do you think they're going to expand and try to bring in more like apprentices and disciples? Or is it just the two of them manipulating the entire army that they have?
I think Snoke is a holocron.
Yeah.
I don't see Snoke fighting anybody. I think it really could be like a Plagueis. And they're just like asking it, like, this is what's happening right now. What should we do? Gather your things and leave.
You know, man, that's a good point. With as much as they are tying in themes and plots of like Rebels into the movies, that's what happens with that holocron that they get, that Ezra gets. It's talking to him and like trying to convince him. I never thought of that.
Because that in the Darth Bane series, when he opens up that Revan holocron, Revan like Revan like puts him through a test to see if he's worthy, and it like they react.
Right.
And
it's not just a recording.
Right.
Right.
And well, they do kind of make it kind of weird because the way Bane says it, he kind of like downloads the what am I trying to say? Downloads the intelligence, the information from it. What if Snoke is a fucking holocron? That's what I'm saying.
I can't believe we haven't brought that up in the past year.
I mean, it makes too much sense. Like, he doesn't exist, but he does. It can give you good advice. And it is Holocron. Holocran.
He knows that you pronounce it wrong. I love you.
Yeah, they're interactive. You can learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one thing that the Sith have over the Jedi. And of course, I'm sure there's Jedi holocrons that are that interactive. But George Lucas has always stated, Sith cannot live on. They cannot become Force ghosts because they're not pure. And he's stated that recently. And because there was, I think it was a Rebels or a Clone Wars scene that was cut with Darth Revan. And they said it was going to be a Force ghost, him and Bane, and they were supposed to talk to someone. And Lucas nixed it. He said, no, Jedi are the only ones that become Force ghosts because they're pure.
Kinda. Bane was in there kind of as a Force ghost.
But that was a vision. That wasn't even a Force ghost. That was something put on by those Night Sisters or whatever, the Force hose.
No, that was from Palpatine and Dooku.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
so
I guess. I don't know.
If they're really gonna,
the holocron thing makes sense.
I'm not mad at that. If that makes sense.
The only question is, how did a holocron gain control of this entire sect of like the old Empire?
Because he's the one and only true Sith that has influence anymore. If it is a Plagueis or someone like that,
yeah, but the only people in the Empire that cared about the Sith was just Vader and Palpatine.
Until Kylo Ren killed a bunch of people and then found this thing, and he's like, maybe that's why he went to the dark side. Maybe Luke had this hollow marker and hollow Sharpie, but he was like, he was housing it, and then Kylo or Ben found it, and he's like, dude, this shit's awesome. Opened it up, and it started talking to him, kill all these people, and let's go over here.
It's a good option, too.
Find Hux. He sounds like a bitch, but he does good work. It's like, oh my God. Hugo asks.
Yeah, good.
Hugo asks, how do you think Carrie's death will affect episode 8? Well,
it won't because they were already done shooting by the time
I think
she passed.
I think it might, though, because it might affect what happens to her in episode 8, because supposedly she was supposed to have a more prominent role in 9. I mean, do you disrespect her by putting her as CG in 9?
They're not going to do that. They released a statement. They're not going to do that.
So they have to kill her off in 8.
Yeah.
So I bet the story has changed dramatically.
What I originally said was she dies between 8 and 9, and they reference back to it.
Okay.
Or she passed away between 8 and 9. Because 8's done.
Oh, and 9. Okay, I see.
And then they reference back, or they say it in the crawl or something. But yeah, I mean, there was so much speculation after she died, and people are like, are they going to CGI her like Tarkin, and what are they going to do? And Star Wars released a statement. They're like, we have utmost respect for Carrie Fisher and her family and everything, and they're not going to cross that line. So we don't have to worry about that. And I think that's a good decision. I think anytime you can't do that to a person that is like, it can't be current. Them doing it for 20-year-old Leia makes sense.
Right. Because there's no other way.
You can't do it for the current Leia. You know what I mean?
Depulio mentions unless Kylo had the Knights of Ren search for holocrons. I think, just hear me out.
Are you doing it on purpose now?
Yeah. So maybe he went to the dark side and didn't immediately kill off the Jedi Order, or whatever, the new Jedi Order. Maybe he went to the dark side, went somewhere, met up with these mercenary mercs, or maybe just got this like tribe of insane people, And he's like, you know what we need? I found this one holocron. Let's go find more. And it leads him back to the new Jedi Order. And he knows Luke has him. Maybe that's why Luke's gone. Maybe he's housing a library of this shit. Oh, dude, there's so many things.
Yeah, it could be anything.
He's got Grievous's head on a pedestal. He's rubbing it for good luck every time he walks by, going to the library. Oh.
I need to catch fully back up on Rebels, but the Ezra is Snoke theory is still not out of the question for me.
Maybe Ezra's a holocron. What if he gets enveloped in a dark side holocron? Yeah. Dude, that'd be fucking insane.
Yeah.
Or what if...
it's not out of the question.
It's just insane. Let's try to move on.
Let's attempt to. I can't.
Let's move on through the characters. Do you think Chewie's going to die in 8 or 9?
No, I don't think he is.
I think the Falcon will blow up.
I hope so.
It's
already a piece of junk.
I'm going to give you one bad scenario. I think R2's gone. He's already like 100 years old.
He's older than the Falcon.
He's the oldest thing out of all of them.
I'm okay with...
He's the oldest thing by far out of everything there. He's older than Vader's helmet. He's older than Luke's lightsaber. He's older than everything.
I don't think they'll...
Why would you rebuild 800-year-old things?
We talked about on the previous episode how if you think about what is in every single episode and cartoon, no matter what, R2 and 3PO are there.
Sand.
Always. I have a feeling that they're not going to kill off R2 or 3PO.
I have a feeling that they already opened the door to R2 dying. He wasn't in episode 7. He really wasn't.
Yeah.
And they already introduced 3PO and BB-8 kind of interacting, and it was kind of like a fun thing. Yeah. I really think, and it could all happen at once.
I'm okay with them dying. I'm just saying I don't think they will.
Well, I'm just saying, what if...
I think that...
What if C3... Or, Jesus, what if R2's on the Falcon when it gets blown up?
Yeah.
Oh.
Just that link between all the episodes. Yes, it's Star Wars. The prequels are different from the original, are different from the sequels, are different from the cartoons. But you have these two things that are in all of them.
Yeah.
So I just think they'll keep it going. At least throughout the end of 9. I don't know.
I think they have an opportunity
I really don't care, though.
with BB-8.
I know everyone loves R2 and 3PO, and I do love R2, but...
K2SOs.
I don't care that much. If BB-8 dies, I'll be really sad.
K2SO died.
So I'm already pissed.
I was really sad when K2SO died.
Yeah. I think they'll get rid of it. All of the. I think.
Therefore I am.
I think they will get rid of all original trilogy, everything except for Chewie.
That was almost a mistake that he was in it.
And that's just me hoping because I love Chewie.
I think it was pushing it.
Wookiees live like 3 times longer than humans.
No, I know that. But the fact that he was the one that like, okay, Yoda, climb on my back. Let's get the fuck out of here. And it was just like, why was it? I don't know. I'm okay with it, but at the same time,
that he was in the prequels, you mean?
Yeah, that he was in episode 3 and he didn't save, but he led Yoda to safety. It was
with the commander.
Why does everything... There's trillions of people in this galaxy, and of course it's Chewbacca and Yoda. I don't know.
I'm okay with that.
And then as...
They were fighting on Kashyyyk. It shows you that Chewbacca was high up in the ranks when he was actually on Kashyyyk.
Yeah, but then Han's over here talking about hokey religions, and Chewbacca doesn't say a fucking thing, but he had a Jedi Master jump on his back and fly away. Come on. There's so many loopholes. I know, I get it.
That's true.
But that is the newest of the original 6. Did you have to do that? No.
You could say also... You could also raise the point that the Jedi were generals in the Clone Wars. So not everyone might have known their actual...
Everyone did. He blindly killed 2 clones because he felt something in his loins. All right, so who else in episode 7? Kylo. What happens to Kylo? You think he's going to die?
No.
I don't see how they can kill Kylo off because they wouldn't have an enemy. I think he is the enemy.
I hate to say this, but I think by the end of 9, he'll get redeemed, like Vader style. I don't want him to. I'm always a dark side fan, but I think he'll end up getting redeemed. Rey's going to bring him back.
Is that a possibility that this ends
What?
really dark? The whole trilogy ends in a very dark. Is it confirmed that it is strictly a trilogy? Are they confirmed that they're stopping at 9?
No.
I didn't think so. I know they're scheduled out to 9, but what stops them from making 10, 11, 12 and being right fucking there?
Nothing. I mean, they've said Star Wars every year until we decide otherwise.
That's a great point. Why didn't Chewie convince Han about the Jedi? Yeah, I think it's just a loophole. That was in episode 4. Nothing made sense in episode 4. So, but the fact that they put Yoda and Chewie on top of each other, it's like you added the loophole is what you did there. Yeah,
it's just a way to throw familiar things back in.
I hear you. But you got to think The Force Awakens did it so well.
Yeah, that's why it's the best Star Wars movie.
Episode 3 did not. Well, I don't know. It is what it is.
I mean, it had the Falcon docking on Coruscant.
Yeah, but that wasn't anything.
I understand, but why is it in there?
You saw little robot scrotum in Rogue One. Whatever the fuck. Scatter. What is his name?
Think about the time that the Falcon docks on Coruscant in the beginning of episode 3. General Grievous literally just launched an assault on the capital of the galaxy and stole the Chancellor, and Han's there.
Spice running.
Like, exactly. I mean, if you think about it in detail, it is a loophole, too. It's just, this is familiar. Let's shuffle it right on in there.
That's where he was dropping off his spices. He doesn't give a good goddamn. But think about it. Like, I don't know, man. The little robot.
That's right where the Han Solo movie is going to pick up.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's move on to a little bit of different news.
I don't want to move on.
Well, what other characters? Hux. Do you think Hux is going to be a relevant thing in 8 or 9?
I think he's Tarkin style.
Well, that's what they were just talking about. Do you think Hux is the new Tarkin?
Yeah, like he's cool. He does what he does. He doesn't, even though Kylo, because when I was reading the novelization of Force Awakens, everyone is terrified of Kylo Ren. The Jedi are gone, the Sith are gone, they're a military, and you have this creepy fuck in a mask that's like manipulating everybody's minds. So they're scared of him, but Hux at least stands up, just like Tarkin would stand up to Vader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not only because of his rank, but because they fought together, like they knew each other.
Well, they're different mindset. You got to think Hux is military. That's what he does. He does it fucking well. Kylo over here whining like a sand dune bitch. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing, Kylo.
Just dune bitch.
But it's like, don't get in my way. Don't prevent me from creating the greatest army ever.
Right.
I don't care what fucking Jabba the Snoke. Yeah, like, get out of here. I know what I'm doing.
I do think Hux and Kylo kind of have a Tarkin Vader relationship. A little more hostile, but similar.
It's obvious they hate each other. You don't hear Tarkin and Vader hate each other in the movies.
I don't even think they hate each other.
They fucking hate each other.
Oh, yeah, because Vader chokes the shit out of him. Yeah, I forgot about that.
They yell at each other a lot. But I think maybe that's just a part of Vader. Like, if he doesn't get his way, fuck you, man.
Seriously?
I want SpaghettiOs.
Ancient religion's choking your fucking neck right now.
Hux doesn't believe in space wizards. But that's...
Yeah.
The entire galaxy doesn't believe in space wizards at this point.
Right.
They're all dead.
Right.
That was like with you and me. We're talking about dragons right now. Like, fuck, that's not real. And then a dragon shows up.
I believe in dragons.
Well, ancient dragon.
And then Khaleesi rolls in like, wait a second. I knew it. I had faith this whole time. That is a crazy thing, though. Like, so many different cultures have legends of dragons from back in the day.
In real life. Look at, China. They have Year of the Dragon.
Like medieval does. China, Japan, they do. There's other ones too I just can't think of because I'm
Grievous.
Talking about Star Wars. I'm not a history major. I'm a Star Wars major.
But that is weird that stuff kind of translates. Like, That's like having a year of the wizard based off of Harry Potter. If it wasn't true.
I mean,
You know, like if dragons never really existed and it was pulled from a book and all of a sudden that book became like history. I don't want to get into it.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
It's fine. It's just the fact that obviously dragons aren't real, but the fact is a lot of different cultures believe or at least pay tribute to dragons.
Or have records of dragons.
It's interesting that they would exist.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Even them being built into cultures and stuff.
Well, like they could have existed and been extinct. We don't know. And that's why dragons are so fucking cool. It's the mystery of like every culture has a story of the Great Flood. We just don't know exactly what happened.
But what if it was just like a pterodactyl? Like a big lizard pterodactyl, and everyone just said, "Oh, dragon."
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's pterodactyl. It's still going to eat us and breathe fire. But this shit's pterodactyl, dude.
Dragons are so sweet.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, season 7.
Have you been playing anything lately?
Video games? No. I haven't turned my Xbox on probably for a month. I've been playing the Game of Thrones card game. I have a buddy that I play with every Wednesday morning. That's been a lot of fun. But yeah, no video games. I haven't played X-Wing in a long time. Probably like 3 months, 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Just been busy.
Butterclone and I booted up Battlefield 1 the other day. It's just a difficult game. It's fun. I really think it's fun. And if you work together just like any other Battlefield, it's a lot easier.
Right.
But you can't just walk in there, man. You just can't. It's impossible. There's shit blowing up. And that's
it's transition.
It's literally like a transition from Call of Duty to Battlefield. Like, oh, I died again. Fuck, I'm pissed. Like, no, this is Battlefield. You're gonna fucking die.
Right.
And then it's taken up 4 other notches when you get to World War I because just shit blows up. There's just I
got no armor, no protection,
dude. Literally,
no.
My last 4 deaths in it were accident, shrapnel, gas, and like it was just ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Well, I joined your game late, Mopar. Oh, you tried to join yesterday.
Yeah, if you want to jam with us, we're on Xbox One. My gamer tag, can't talk. Gamer tag is Commander Cody 01.
Mine's Mopar Melton. No fucking numbers, because fuck that.
No numbers or spaces. So main
I'm the
games
only one.
are
I'm the only human that can beat it.
Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4. That's pretty much it.
I kind of felt like playing Black Ops, not Black Ops. Battlefield Hardline the other day.
Hardline's still fun.
It is. They're all fun. Yeah. Let's move on to actual Star Wars news. Again, we're trying to move on for. Rogue One has just passed $1 billion in the international box office, $500 million plus from North American box office. So are they saying 1.5 million is the total, or are they saying the 500 million is included in 1 billion?
I feel like 500 million is part of the total.
Okay, so 1 billion in international box, 1 billion, yeah. Do you think it will take the top place in 2016? What was top in 2016?
That's a good question. Probably Deadpool.
No. Avengers?
Let's find out.
Was there another Avengers? Oh, I already fucking forget. While you look that up, let's move on to a quick. So we're not huge comic book knowledgerizers, but it has been released that Cad Bane and Aura Singh will return for an appearance in the Darth Maul #3 series. What are our thoughts to see 2 Clone Wars era bounty hunters return? I think it's fucking amazing.
I heard about that. Yeah, I remember when we
Civil War. Sorry,
it was right around the time when I met you that episode 1 came out. We were all obsessed with it. And I remember the card game that we used to have, the Aura Singh card. I always thought it was so fucking sweet.
Yeah.
But she wasn't in the movie.
She was
there, sniped, and that was it.
No, she didn't even shoot.
With the Tusken Raiders.
She didn't even shoot.
That's true, yeah.
They go around a corner, you see her go, oh, there they are.
Exactly.
That's all she does.
I always wanted more info, and I know she's in the Clone Wars. There's,
yeah.
She plots to assassinate Amidala, I think. And then
She
she's
follows-
also in, she's with young Boba.
Yeah.
And he infiltrates a group of young clone trainees.
That's
and he's trying
so
to kill
badass.
Mace Windu. So fucking sweet. So yeah, I think that'll be awesome. And it's perfect timing too for the timeline.
Cad Bane is
Cad Bane's
quickly becoming one of my favorite, probably my favorite bounty hunter. I'd hate to push someone like Boba aside, but Cad Bane has a ruthlessness to him. He doesn't give a fuck about any of it. That's a Chancellor, you want me to steal? Fuck, give me this motherfucker. And then just does it. He even plots against his own people, which makes him just like they were doing the whole Obi-Wan was undercover as that other
they
dude.
thought he was dead, yeah.
And Cad Bane, and they all did their own thing, or they all were like grouped together, had a plan, and Cad Bane just did his own thing and fucked the whole thing up and got him anyways. Oh, I just think and the way he has two pistols, badass.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Like Calo Nord.
Oh, dude. And it is like Calo Nord, but he
Yeah.
has that huge sombrero.
Yeah.
Western motherfucker. Dude, I love it. I just love it. He looks
Duros
cool.
are sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks cool. He's badass. He's ruthless. I'm sorry.
Well,
Boba.
I mean, technically, all the cool Boba stuff is now Legends,
Right.
So we don't really know. I mean, the Bloodlines book from Legacy of the Force with Boba. I mean, he's ruthless. He's ridiculous.
Who?
Boba, and he's
In what?
Bloodlines. It's the
okay.
one of the books in the Legacy of the Force.
Yeah.
And he's 80 years old and he's murdering everything. He finds out he has a daughter. His daughter's in jail, also a bounty hunter or whatever. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to find this Camino in so I can get the genetic code to extend my life so I don't die.
Mm-hmm.
Like all throughout the book, that's all he fucking cares about. But all that stuff's Legends. So we have no idea how cool he is.
I lost a little bit of respect for Boba Fett, and it's not the character's fault, obviously, but the Bounty Hunter Wars Guild books, it just wasn't doing it. He gets in with Dengar, and it's just weird and bad. And they go against the Bounty Hunters Guild, I think. They plan an attack because basically the Bounty Hunters Guild was becoming the Jedi Order. Like, you can't do that. It's like, we're fucking bounty hunters. No.
Right.
Oh, you can't do that. We'll go after you. And Boba
rules.
Fett's like, fuck you. But it was really weird. I think it was just maybe a poorly written book. But
It's really old too.
yeah. Well,
Those are the old expanded universe
there's
books.
a full
I have all three
of them. Yeah, I got like 90% of the way through the first one and just gave up. Dengar and him were talking. I'm like, this isn't even worth it. Meow. I wish I knew what the fuck you're talking about, Cad Bane. Matt Keegan. I have unfortunately never seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly all the way through.
98.
That's old.
Smells really good. Damn.
Capuna. The Scrota got pissed.
Fuck. I was just gonna say something.
I'm going to give a quick shout. Speaking of Capuna,
Shout.
if you guys were not live or listening or haven't listened to our last episode, Docking Bay 94, go over there because we had our buddies from Aperion who are remaking KOTOR. So if you're a big KOTOR fan, we talked to the guys redoing it. It was
I
fucking
love
belligerent.
them, but they picked the worst name.
Yeah. Apron.
Apron. Yeah. The guys
That's awesome.
from Apron KOTOR.
But they were great sports. So go back there and listen to it. Okay.
I got the box office thing.
Okay, do it.
So worldwide box office, Civil War is number one. Mm-hmm. Followed by
At what?
1.15 billion.
Oh, so it's right there. So it potentially, well, depending on how much longer it's got.
It's off. Yeah, I mean, it's off by 150 mil. I
Depending,
mean, it's going to be out of theaters like soon.
depending on how, yeah, it's already all going on February.
So Civil War is first, followed by Finding Dory, Zootopia, and then Rogue One is fourth.
Zootopia was really good, by the way.
Rogue One is number one in the U.S. So domestically, Rogue One is on top.
That's interesting that Star Wars doesn't translate that much overseas, everywhere.
Well, I don't think it's that it doesn't translate. I mean, it's still 4 out of how many movies throughout the year, 100 or more. But yeah, I don't think it will pass. I don't think it will rise further above 4.
Right.
It's going to be out of theaters really soon.
Yeah, I assume so. While still on the Rogue One sales stuff, Rogue One received 2 Oscar nominations for visual effects and sound mixing. That's 3 less than The Force Awakens. But it continues the tradition of every Star Wars film being nominated for an Oscar, which I didn't realize. Like Episode 2 was nominated for an Oscar.
At least one.
It had to have been music.
I mean, that's
no,
one.
that's
That was Duel of the Fates,
right.
Episode 1. At the very least, the visual effects, the sound, and the music are always top notch in Star Wars.
Yeah, true. Very true.
But no, even for Episode 2, like you might think it's the most boring one, but
Still looks good.
Episode 2 is one of my favorite soundtracks. I think Across the Stars, the theme for Anakin and Padme, is one of my favorite themes of all John Williams stuff. The sound design's good. The graphics and everything are good. I mean, ILM and Skywalker sound always do impeccable work, no matter what.
I was watching
What?
a little bit of Star Wars Chicken today, and there was a whole scene with the Episode 2 Anakin Padme. She got her tits out and stuff, and she says, "Let's talk about this in here. This is my non-sexual conversation room, and everything's dim lit. She's got boobs hanging out."
Exactly.
And he sits down. And he's like, I can't handle it. She starts like doing yoga, bumping her ass in his face. I don't know. I'm a senator, and she's like stripping on a pole. He's like, I can't handle it.
That's so funny.
She starts stretching, making
It's
moaning
exactly how
sounds.
it is, too.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
I can't think about that right now. Like, oh my God, it was so perfect. Okay. Moving on.
I'm gonna watch Episode 2 tonight.
Yeah, maybe next year.
I will sit there and watch the movie.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and watch it. I don't care. I like it.
I like it.
I like it. Sorry, guys. I know everyone's pissed.
Ow! All right. Let's see. In Star Wars, we learned the history of the Darksaber, that there has been at least one Mandalorian Jedi, Tar Vizsla,
Yeah.
Vizsla. Sabine helped produce weapons which were used against her people, and then was abandoned by her family when she broke loyalty to the Empire. Sabine now has gauntlets, similar to Boba Fett. One of the best episodes of the season.
It must be a new one, and I'm curious to learn more. For anyone listening, we haven't caught up all the way on season 3. I've watched, I think they came back the new year for episode 10 and 11. I've watched those.
What are your thoughts about the Darksaber thing?
I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand it.
I assume it was just like an ancient weapon.
Yeah.
That was just like more of a ceremonial thing, but they actually use it in battle. It's like, I guess it's obvious that they would have the technology. Tied up with
the Night Sisters, right?
I don't know.
I think that's what it was.
That would be weird. I would assume the Mandalorians would make their own weapon of a ceremonial blade. Because that's the same one that Maul uses and becomes.
Yeah, it's the same one.
Mandalore.
I don't think they made the Darksaber. It just means that she used it.
For how honorable
she used it in that fight. There was a fight where like she got possessed. Like the Darksaber was there and she got possessed, and then she started fighting Ezra because she was like possessed and she turned evil or whatever, and Ezra had to fight her off, and she was using the Darksaber against a lightsaber.
Yeah. Well, you see that same thing in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
The same Darksaber.
So I have no idea. There's just so much. Like there's so much. We've said this before. Even Rebels episodes that we feel are like kind of filler. There's small 10-second scenes that add to the overall plot and add to the expanded universe that like we don't want to miss. But I mean, I just forget about it. There's just so much. much
I've
stuff.
never really sat there and I've heard the word Darksaber over and over, but it kind of pisses me off that it's just the opposite of a lightsaber.
I never thought of that. Wow.
That kind of makes me mad.
That's annoying.
That I thought that. Just at least call it like a shadow sword. Something different. I don't know.
Sounds like a Mortal Kombat weapon.
Finish him.
Dude, you know what I thought of the other day? That Mortal Kombat game we used to play?
Mortal Kombat 2?
No.
Oh, the...
Deadly Alliance?
Yeah.
Dude.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good, man. I don't know if we've even talked about that in the show before, but like, that was one of the best Mortal Kombat games ever made.
It was brutal.
By 4. Mortal Kombat, like, 4 was amazing, and this Deadly Alliance for original Xbox was, like, incredible.
That reminds me of...
I miss that, dude. We used to fucking sit there for hours.
That and Gauntlet Legends.
Yeah.
I
have it. It's right there. It's not backwards compatible, and I don't have an original Xbox, so I can't play it.
We need Kerner.
Kerner!
Okay.
No, we need to go to the goddamn pawn shop and buy an Xbox for $10.
Yeah.
Just play
true.
it. Yeah.
I thought the Darksaber belonged to a Mandalorian Jedi fella. Well, it belonged to the Mandalore, and then Maul killed the Mandalore and took the saber as a ceremonial thing, saying, I'm Mandalore, because basically whoever has it, motherfucker, is Mandalore. So, but that's weird that she would have it.
She didn't have it. It was there. I can't remember the plot.
She stole it or something?
Maul took them to a planet for a purpose. I don't remember what it was. But basically, he went in with Ezra, Kanan, and Sabine. Kanan got knocked out for whatever reason, and Sabine got possessed by like the Darksaber. And she was using it to fight Ezra.
Possessed by the Darksaber.
I need to rewatch all of them so I can talk intelligently like a real human.
We're back on to the whole spirit force embedding itself into things, and I got possessed by this badass stun baton. You better watch out.
The Black Valkyrie.
Black Valkyrie stun baton. Yeah.
From Apron KOTOR. Moving down in the news, it looks like we got a general synopsis update for the Thrawn book. We knew it was coming out. I think it was October, November that they released the announcement. The book will be out April 11th. Expanded Universe fans will know that the Thrawn from the EU is not exactly the same as the new Thrawn in Rebels. He's still a Chiss, still blue, he's still a badass Imperial officer, but the story's a little different. Here's a synopsis. Thrawn has earned an iconic status among Star Wars' greatest villains, but his origins and the story of his rise in the Imperial ranks have remained mysterious. Now in the novel Star Wars Thrawn, Timothy Zahn chronicles the fateful events that launched the blue-skinned, red-eyed master of military strategy and lethal warfare into the highest realms of power and infamy. Which is really cool because...
By the way, the rest of the synopsis is the rest of the thing.
Oh, God, it's so long.
Yeah. But I didn't realize Timothy Zahn is the one from the 90s, isn't he?
Yeah.
He was the one that wrote...
I think he did the original.
Wow. That makes me...
Happy.
Not happy. It makes me think like it better be. I don't plan on it being a good book. I feel like when they get to Disney, just think about it.
Because you got to think from an author's perspective.
Books.
Like in order to write the book, if Thrawn's the main character, he kind of does need to create a backstory for him.
Right, but why would you use a non-canon author?
I mean,
the guy's never made anything about Star Wars that is canon right now.
Well, this goes back to our thought of they didn't make everything Legends because they didn't want it to be included. They made it Legends so that they could bring it back the right way in the right order so that it matches up with their timeline. Like they want to bring Thrawn back. So like he's the same character. The book's written by the same author and they need it to fit how they're structuring things, basically.
I'm not mad at it. I don't know if it makes complete sense to me.
It's a little strange.
And actually, Timothy Zahn tweets us quite often. Well, he was for a little bit because we were yelling at him, but
it's a little strange.
Did you guys?
No, not Timothy Zahn. James Caan.
That's probably why I'm mixing it up.
Yeah, he did the novelization for Return of the Jedi.
That's why. Okay, I'm not pissed anymore. Yeah, that's why I was thinking, like, why would you take this guy from... Yeah, I've read Zahn books. I don't know why.
I was going to... Yeah, the names are so similar. They confuse me. No, because Zahn did the...
I read a Zahn book.
He did the Thrawn trilogy right there. The Last Command, the Dark Force Rising, and Heir to the Empire.
Oh, he also did the Allegiance book, which I hated. Great.
Did not read that one.
It's not good. Don't read it.
We're talking about it. Drew Carpishin, Darth Bane, the best Star Wars book ever written.
KOTOR, Mass Effect, Christmas. He created them all.
Furbies.
I can't get over this beer, man.
It's really good.
I'm actually drinking it quite slow. I'm surprised.
Trying to take in the flavor?
No, it's something about... Usually Pilsners, it's so easy to drink that I just throw them down, but this is just something about it, man. It's good.
I'm very excited to see how... Like we just talked about, we kind of know who Thrawn is, and they're working the character into new canon. So I'm excited to see how they draw up his backstory, and in terms of timeline, where he is in Rebels, and if this book is going to take place before Rebels, how early is he going to be involved in the end of Episode 3 era where Palpatine is becoming the Emperor and taking control over the Republic. I mean, just like we raved about Plagueis and all the backstory stuff that it gave you behind the political scenes of Episode 1 and 2.
True.
How far back are they going to go?
Yeah, they could really start intertwining all this shit. Now,
Twining.
With Grievous sitting here,
Hey, Grievous.
do you think they're going to really go back to these cybernetic beings? Because I feel like when we look at what we've been given so far, it's either droid or... Because basically where we're at right now, outside of Luke's hand, everything's either human or droid.
Vader.
But Vader doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, you mean OT? Or sequel trilogy? So you're talking about?
I mean, going forward, do you think Disney is going to create beings like this dude?
There's no reason not to. It's possible.
They're
Maul's
denying
canon, so...
They're denying everything. He's not, but he's not... I wouldn't even...
Grievous is on an
This
extreme
dude
level.
is
Yes.
a kidney, and
Yes.
that's it.
I know. Grievous is on an extreme level. But to the same extent, I mean, Maul is canon. Half his
Yeah.
body is robot.
Yeah.
Grievous is so extreme. He's what? Eyes, heart, lungs, brain?
Yeah.
That's it?
Bloodshot eyes.
Man,
Gotta get
it'd
new
be
eyes, bro.
fucking rad to have a Grievous comic book. Grievous before Grievous.
Yeah.
Like who he was before. If I remember correctly, I think the story was he was a great general for whatever race he was, and he got into a bad starfighter accident, and they salvaged his body parts and basically put them into a cybernetic creature.
Yeah. I think I believe it was Sidious witnessed like his military onslaught. Like it was just the most ruthless thing. And that's why I feel like Sidious
Gotta take a breath before this
Sidious
sentence.
already know he deals with so much.
Yeah.
With the Sith.
Yeah.
He's actually is the Emperor, so he is running shit.
Right.
He's got to deal with Vader. He's already, and that's why he likes Tarkin so much. Like, just take care of shit, dude. I gotta take a fucking nap.
You need self-starters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he sees Grievous just taking shit over, and he's like, boop, we'll just make him part of us, and we'll plot him in everything.
That's one thing it would be cool to see if how involved Sidious is in all that stuff. Because to a certain extent, it kind of feels like Sidious is like, Dooku, you're my guy. You have Asajj, you have Grievous. Keep those bitches under control and let's make some things happen. Mm-hmm. So it'd be curious to see how involved Sidious is. I mean, I know he's involved. Like he basically tells Grievous to kidnap himself off of Coruscant to lead a whole thing for the Jedi and everything. But it'd be curious to see like the background of that.
It'd be curious to see the background of anything.
That's true. Star Wars, give us some books and shit.
Just keep making shit. Oh, they are. Yeah. I'm taking some books home that we've got from Dimma, taking them.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got too much here, and I need to start diving in. Now, here. Speaking of stuff.
Got really excited.
Well, I am excited. So, there's a place in Columbus, Ohio.
It's called the Beer Store.
It's close.
Just kidding.
It's the best bookstore ever created.
What's it called?
The Book Loft. Have you been to Book Loft?
Oh, the German Village?
Yeah, it's like 32 rooms of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I went in there.
It's like 3 mansions combined, and all the rooms are different book categories.
It is. So I picked up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by IDW, and this is the original 80s company that was making them.
Yeah.
As you can see, everyone's red.
Yep.
I just wanted to give them a shout out. This is shout out episode. But this stuff like holds true. This stuff's so good. Like I read one little, I don't even know what you call it, episode in here. And it was outrageous. Like this Xena Princess Warrior came down in this spaceship and she started like shit kicking everything. And these guys were just laughing. It was like they were teenagers. Like this crazy girl, what the fuck?
At least it wasn't Krang, the goddamn floating brain.
That's fine with me.
It's not fine. Did you see the second movie?
Dude, I can't believe I turned right to it. They're fighting. So this alien woman comes down, crash lands. They find her. They pick her up. They take care of her.
Yeah.
She wakes up and says, dude, these people are after me. Get ready. This other woman shows up with this like alien army. There's like 10 of them. And there's like a big blob. There's a lizard guy. Like it's whatever.
Gelatinous cube.
And of course, I read this one thing right here. And it says, let go of my staff, you turkey. And I just, with the Stephen Brule, if you guys know what Stephen Brule is.
You turkey.
You turkey. But yeah, so that was obviously Donatello because he's got his staff there. But yeah, TMNT, all of this is so old that everyone's still red stuff. So you basically, the only difference is you know them by the weapons they use. But the other badass thing that they were doing they were murdering stuff. They were killing, like Leo actually stabs things with his sword. All of a sudden. Because I feel like in the movies they're like, we're going to use our stuff. Bonk. All right. Woohoo! And then they're just like, what happened?
They just knock people out, yeah.
No, these guys are stabbing alien worms in the fucking head.
You never saw the new movie, did you?
Not the newest. No.
Don't see it.
Oh, God.
Don't see it.
Really?
It was really bad. Yeah. Yeah, and which makes me think I only watched the first one twice, like way back when it first came out. It makes me think the first one probably wasn't that good either.
Wait. Oh, no, it wasn't. I'm not a big fan of what's-his-face, slow motion guy.
I know, but when we first saw it, we talked about it on the show afterwards, and we're like, dude, it looked crazy because of Michael Bay, but it was fucking sweet. And I'm thinking it was probably not.
Pretty sure that's what you said.
We both said.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll sit there and watch it. Whatever.
I'll still watch it, but the second one's bad. Krang, you know who Krang is, right?
Yeah,
the
he's
fucking floating brain guy.
Yeah.
It was bad.
He was in it?
Yes.
Ooh, that's not good.
It was bad.
Yeah, there's like certain people you don't put on screen, like Goldar from Power Rangers. Just keep him off the fucking screen and everything's good. Like,
yeah, we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah.
What, April or May or whatever?
What we can get into is, have you seen the newest Logan trailer? Holy
I realized we didn't talk about that.
fuck.
Dude.
It looks fucking amazing.
It looks fucking ridiculous.
It's like Marvel DC. Shit's like dying, blowing up. It's dreary. Dreary. It's like, but it's like a dark tone. Everything's dead. There's Xavier, Logan, and his daughter, and everyone hates everyone.
I'm glad
it's cool.
that Fox is like, or Sony or Fox?
That should be Fox.
It should be Fox. They're like, fuck rules. We're doing it. Deadpool was the first one.
Yeah.
Fuck everything. This is happening.
Yeah.
And Logan, I mean, the trailer that I saw, I mean, they said fuck twice in the trailer that I saw. It was ridiculous. So if I understood correctly, the little girl is the X-23 or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Well, that's her name.
Right. And I know next to nothing about X-Men, but I thought that was dude.
It's his daughter.
That was fucking sweet.
She's just as badass as him, even a little more raw.
And she's like 10.
Right. But I would assume he would be like that. But that's weird that she has adamantium as well. Like his special power was healing, and he had bones until he was implanted with that shit. So I don't know what or where or how she gets adamantium. Is that a part of her genes now because her dad? I don't know.
Gonna have to ask Alkali Lake.
Now with everything said, Xavier, it's actually I didn't even think about that. It's that timeline.
The new timeline from the...
No, it has to be the old timeline from the original because it's that Xavier.
But I haven't watched the new 3.
So have we talked about that? I've watched them all.
But the whole point is that it's back in time.
No, it's a different timeline. So what ends up happening is...
I thought it was back in time, though. I thought it was like Cold War era.
They do go back in time and create a new timeline. So... at least that's what I got out of it. So the original 3 movies with Phoenix and everything,
right?
They happen, but it goes off the fucking deep end. Sentinels come in and just murder everything. So they send Logan back in time to change people's minds. He does. Everything changes, and they go on a whole other timeline. So Apocalypse and Phoenix are completely different. Now, there's a kind of a spoiler because she still kind of shows up, but in a way different way.
Yeah.
So that's what the gist of what I got out of it.
Okay.
Now, with that said, Xavier in the new timeline is a different Xavier. The Xavier they showed in Logan was the original trilogy Xavier.
In terms of the actor and stuff.
Right, but the only point you see that original Xavier is the First Class when they actually send him back. And it was kind of
so
just
wacky.
as a reference point. And he's sitting there getting shot at, and he's like, we need to send someone back. He heals himself. Fuck it. But
see, I always when I knew that was kind of the plot, I always pictured it as First Class and the other 2 movies in that trilogy took place earlier. So it's a totally different time.
Yeah. He changes because that's exactly the whole point of it. That was to change the timeline. Right. And it was weird because they kind of referenced both of them at the same time. So they both still happen. It's just they are separate.
Now, have you seen the Wolverine solo movies?
I have not.
So I feel like I don't know. It kind of goes off of those. I have no idea.
TMNT isn't a Star Wars topic, but is still better than all the episodes you guys did that was nothing but fucking Metallica. Pissed.
Well, let's spend a few episodes, so we should probably talk about Metallica's new album.
Speaking of Metallica, man. Discrota's pissed.
He is pissed. It's okay, man. We're getting to about that time anyways.
No, this isn't... It is a Star Wars show. It's a Star Wars story. All right? We talk about what the fuck we want.
I feel like we haven't talked about the name choice in a while.
What do you mean?
Like why we're called Rogue Squadron.
And
I was thinking about that the other day. It's like 2 silly reasons. One is because we started and we knew we wanted to be focused on Star Wars. We looked and saw what Star Wars names weren't taken, and we picked Rogue Squadron because it wasn't taken.
I don't feel like we looked that up at all. I feel like one of us just said it.
I think we checked.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we...
Because there was like Tashi Station and like some other podcasts already out there. So I didn't want to pick something that was picked. But it kind of stuck because we do things rogue. Like we go totally off the wall all the time. So like the rogue in the name fits. Because I mean, we've had episodes like I think like Deadpool and Batman vs Superman came out in such close proximity. We probably had an episode that was only Deadpool and Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. It's very true.
So Deadpoolio says Logan doesn't have a daughter.
Oh. So, well, then he's just raising that girl? X-23?
Well, it seemed from the trailer that he doesn't want to raise her. She kind of ended up in his life and he's stuck. And Xavier's like, she's like you. Take the fuck care of her, please.
Well, it's his clone. It's okay. So it is his daughter. Fuck you. It is.
Kinda. Kind of.
But think of Bulba and Django. That's my clone.
True.
That's my son.
That's true. That's true.
Time to have Julio's hammered over here.
Time to have Elkli back on the show so she can explain all this shit for us.
Yeah, she's a big X23 fan. I think you called her X21 earlier.
Did I really?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
hope not. I don't give a shit.
Hammered. Idaho. No, Idaho.
Jesus.
The scientist that created her, named her X23?
Yeah.
Or is a clone of, I don't know. It's fine.
You guys
it's
are
fine.
saying too many things at once.
It's all fine.
It's all good.
All right, guys. Rogue Squadron podcast. We have Progress Pilsner from Market Garden Brewery.
And I will be in Cleveland next weekend, and I'm going to seek this place out and get this shit on draft. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
One of my favorite beers I've ever had.
It's really
fantastic. Episode 8, The Last Jedi. We talked about that a whole bunch. What do you guys think it is? Tweet us, Instagram us, let us know. Is it Luke? Is it Rey? Is Luke going to die? What do you think? All the speculation. Pretty much everything we have to talk about until December rolls around. So hit us up.
Not to get back into it, but Deadpoolio's talking about Old Man Logan is a different timeline. Is that a different timeline from the other two timelines? Is it a different timeline from the Wolverine movie timeline? I don't fucking know. There's so many fucking timelines.
There's too many timelines.
I like old Logan, though. I do like him.
He is a badass. But we should be thankful about Star Wars. You know, as much as we complain about the legends and the canon, we should be thankful that only in the past, year and a half has there been two timelines.
Right.
Some of these other comic fans have had multiple timelines for the history of their favorite characters.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and
we're lucky.
Marvel and DC have done it several times.
Right.
I think Marvel, I don't know about Marvel. DC's, I believe, is on its third
Yeah. So we're lucky.
reboot. They
We're
did, third. So they had the original, they did another one in the 80s, and then they did another one in the early thousands. So we're on our third. But that's restarting everything. It's not like a different timeline as far as how's that? How am I supposed to explain that?
It does become a different timeline, though, because they
it's
don't
a multiverse. Is
cancel the old comics.
I think that's what the whole multiverse is.
Right. Well, because
We've got 3 multiverses, but there's 2 timelines in this multiverse.
It's too much.
It's fucking nuts, man. Old Man Logan's cool.
Because
I'm going to see
Marvel's
it.
basically done that with the movie universe. The cinematic universe is its own thing, separate from the comics.
Right.
The comic Civil War is different than the movie Civil War. So it just gets way too confusing, but they can still make money. So
I can't wait for the next Harry Potter. Okay, awesome guys. Thanks you guys. Thanks you guys.